Hello everyone, welcome back. It's been a little while since I last recorded a video. Took a long time to upload the series so far. But as you recall, if I recall correctly, I said I was going to clear out some trees around the camp a bit more between videos. And well, something's happened, and I think it'd be interesting to show. So I'm going to show that, and then we can take a look at where we're at and talk about where we're going. So periodically, starting from about the 6th day, there's a chance that raiders will come and attack your camp. They're called pillagers by the game. They look like villagers, which we haven't seen yet, but we will soon. Except they're aggressive. And when they attack the camp, mostly they're after you. Sometimes they'll run off other random directions, but usually they're after you. They'll also kill villagers they happen to see and things like that. But just as I was finishing up, I believe, the last video, I saw some pillagers. And I thought that would be a cool thing to show you guys. So that's where I stopped. I can't remember if it was at the end of the last video or if it was in between videos when I was clearing out trees. We're going to find out. So we're going to have a little pillager encounter. I'm looking right at him at the moment. As soon as I unpause the game, we're going to see him. We're going to fight him. I'm going to get my axe. It's a good starter weapon. It deals a decent amount of damage, but it's really slow. But it's going to work along with our shield for dealing with this pillager attack. If you hold your shield up, it will reflect arrows. Pillagers attack generally with crossbows. And that's more information we really need to get into right now. There's more to it than that. For those of you who have a bit more knowledge of the game, you know that there's more to be said there, but let's keep it to a manageable level for the moment. Alright, let's deal with these raiders trying to attack us. Okay, so taking my surroundings, you can see there's a guy over there, a little gray guy. He's already pointing his crossbow at me. When I get closer, he's going to cock it and shoot. So I'm going to get a little closer, and then I'm going to hold up my shield to block it. And then we're just going to repeat that process, attacking between blocks. If we're lucky, we can get them to shoot each other a little bit. Here we go. You hear that sound, that's them cocking their crossbows, getting ready to fight me. I'm going to try and put myself in between this captain and the other guys. I want them to kill him for me. If we kill this captain, we get a certain debuff, a negative status effect, that if we go and visit a village, as we will want to do relatively soon, if we go and visit a village with that debuff on, then a whole bunch of these guys will come and attack the village. And at this point in the game, that would just turn into a village getting wiped out. So I'm going to avoid getting that debuff by making these guys shoot each other. You can see that some of them are shooting each other in the back as they're trying to shoot me. They're not particularly intelligent. And if I line things up just right, I can bounce the arrow off my shield and hit them with it. That's a little bit harder to do, especially at this angle. But alright, that's enough of that. We're going to finish this. As you see, I was able to reflect the shot a few times and get him hit. I was also able to get them to shoot each other in the back a few times. Now I'm just going to finish them off. Alright, it's about nighttime, it looks like. Getting dark here in a hurry. See, he dropped a little flag there. An ominous banner. Let's go back to camp and sit on the ground, see what it looks like. Let's put this right here. Looks just like the thing was over his head. We can actually put that on our shield if we want to. But we're not going to do that. Alright, it's full on night now, looks like. Now we can take a look and see what I was able to accomplish between videos. It took me a couple of weeks to upload the first 7 videos. I took them all in one day. I wasn't going to say so, but here we are. Alright, so we got our bamboo here. We've got, this will be a dark oak tree. They have to be planted in groups of 2 by 2 so that they'll grow as the original trees do. Otherwise they won't grow at all. Most of the other saplings will grow with you just placing just one. But jungle saplings will do the same sort of thing if you group them up in groups of 2 by 2. There's some ink sacs left behind by a squid that suffocated. We might be able to use those later, so I'm grabbing those. We turn them into black dye. Alright, but yeah, I could say, I don't know, right here, if I were to chop this tree down, I could just plant 4 jungle saplings right next to each other in a 2 by 2 pattern, and it would grow into a tall tree like that. Or I can plant them one at a time and they'll grow into shorter trees like this one here, or even shorter trees like some of the other ones we've seen. Anyway, we're not worried about cutting down more trees right now. As you can see, I've got a lot of logs here, more than I really need. I did clear out some trees. I've got a bunch of logs. I've got 5, 6-ish stacks of logs. What else do we have here? Just figuring out where I'm going to put this ink sac. We'll put it right here with these dye materials. Looks like we're still running around with stone tools, so why don't we grab some cobblestones and some sticks. We can take them with us and make tools if we need to. That way we can get out and we can work for a while if we want. Let's make ourselves a work table. That's just a square of 4 planks. Carry that with us too. And then when we run out of tools, we can make new ones. Looks like we need to make a clock. We need some gold for that. We have an iron pickaxe and a stone pickaxe. We can find some gold. We've got melon slice here. It looks like that's what we're doing for food right now. We're starting to build up some wheat. We could make some bread. But I think for this very moment we will stick to melon slices because those melons, as you can see, they grow really fast. About time for us to harvest our entire garden again. Why don't we take care of that real quick? Let's eat some of these melons so we can run around without worrying about getting hungry. If we fill up our hunger, as you see, our health starts to fill back up again. So we're just going to mow this all down. It's not quite all ripe, but it's ripe enough. If you wait for absolutely all of them to be ripe, you wait about twice as long as you need to. Better to harvest a few things before they're ready than to wait twice as long and get literally half as much stuff. Oops, I just accidentally stomped those fields. I have to fix that, but let's finish harvesting first. We should probably do something about our garden so that doesn't happen anymore. And we're just right at the very beginning. We haven't had time to really beautify or optimize our space. We're just trying to get stuff going just enough so that we can have our basic needs met. You may remember that not too long ago we were struggling just to have the food we needed. That is not a desirable place to be. We have to fix that problem first. Then we can fix the problem of inefficient things like having our melons right next to our field and that making us a little more likely to trample some of our fields. I could turn off auto jump and that would solve that problem, but I prefer to leave it on. It's easier on the keyboard if you're not pressing the space bar constantly the whole time you're playing. I've actually worn out the space bar on my keyboard before from playing this game. we need a tool. We need a hoe specifically. And then we can fix what we broke. Alright, problem solved. Now, this sugar cane, if I'm careful and don't knock the last one off, will just keep growing on its own. And these vines, now that they're matured, they're going to pop melons off all the time. You see I grabbed like 24 melon slices off of those, 5 melons that I picked. Which is nice. It takes a long time to eat them, because they only give you one of those little meat icons per melon slice that you eat, but that's pretty abundant. It grows a lot faster than the wheat, which gives us only 2.5 of those hunger indicators. The online community that plays Minecraft has decided to call a point one of the half hearts or half armor indicators or half meat indicators. If you watch closely as we go on and continue, you'll see that they decrement or go down by half of an icon at a time. So there's actually 20 points of hunger there. But I think in the game, as you play it casually, it's easier to refer to a point as the whole picture. So I will say that melon slices give you a point of hunger, whereas bread gives you 2.5 points of hunger back. There's a little bit more to it than that, but we're not going to get into that today. Alright, so we're going to put our seeds in here. We're going to put our wheat in here. We've got more than we really need to be storing, so we're going to make some of those hay blocks to make it, oops, wrong chest, to make it take up less space, because our chest is already starting to get pretty crowded. Both of them. We're going to have to make a couple more chests real soon. Oh yeah, I forgot about this one. That's where our hoe was. Oh well. In a little bit I'll show you how to repair stuff using this gear. I think I mentioned it before, but I don't remember if I actually did it. It's something we'll be doing more than once, even if I did explain it. And after all, repetition is part of memory. Part of remembering, I should say. So now we have to decide what we're doing next. And I don't remember what it was I was thinking of doing it. Well, we should get more of the sugarcane planted, that's certain. Early game requires a lot of paper. Well, I don't know, there's a number. We basically completed the early game. The next step is building up. So we need to expand our sugarcane operation. We need to be able we also need to figure out where we're going to be putting our proper farm field. We're on this hill, and that makes everything more difficult. We're either going to have to fill in a lake or flatten a hill. More accurately, we're probably going to have to do both. Let's go take a look at this lake over here real quick, see where it goes. It is just a lake. All right. The reason that's important is this body of water over here looks like it's part of a much larger system of rivers, lakes, whatever you want to call it. That can be useful for transportation. I'm not sure I want to gum it up with a whole bunch of dirt. But over here, this lake isn't really connected to anything. I could connect it by digging this spot out here. That's some work. I think instead I will fill this in and use it as sugar cane farming. But it's not going to be big enough. We're going to need more space than that. We can fill in this whole area over here and not affect our ability to transport very much. And still have basically a straight line coming along here that I could carve out that to make a canal if I wanted. We could come over here. Do the same thing. You can see there's more water over here, but it's not connected. We'd have to connect those bodies, but they're not so far apart that that would be difficult. Boats move around really fast. I can't recall if I spent any time on a boat in my previous videos. I think I did, but I certainly have spent some time on a boat since. I could show you once again how fast that is. Well, that's one day down. Right now, what we're doing is trying to design our camp. This is important. A good design saves you time and makes things easy. A bad design generally just works with what you have, like what we have here. We worked with what we had. Now, we still tailored it a little bit. We added some extra dirt here to make that a little bit better of a garden area. You know, if we'd left it a rough coastline like that and just tried to carve out farm fields along the side, it's really inefficient. You'll spend a lot of time wandering back and forth. What you want is to keep things in tight, compact formations as much as possible that don't get in the way of each other. This area here is nice because you can see from here that the water is only about 1 block deep for most of this area here. We won't have to put a bunch of dirt down to make good use of this area. So I think that's what we're going to do. Whereas over here, the lake is not only smaller, but it's deeper. We'd have to spend a lot more dirt to use a lot less area more effectively. And what that means is we'd have to spend a lot more time digging. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking about it. I'm going to start doing it. Give you an idea of how it goes, and then we'll probably end this video, and then I'll come back after I've finished the task. Because this will take, an hour or two, depending on how much work we have to do. I think the other thing we're going to do is clear this area over here. Clear out the trees, flatten the ground so it's completely flat. And then we can move this wheat field and melon growing plots and things like that. We can move them up here into a compact, convenient location. We'll have our convenient fields up here. We'll build, well, I'll show you later. I have a design I like to use for my farm fields. It's very aesthetically pleasing and at the same time also efficient on space. Alright, so as you may recall, sugarcane only grows right next to water. So what we need to grow sugarcane effectively is we need water next to dirt, and we need a lot of it. So a good way to do that is to do something like this. It doesn't want to place it. Why is that? I think they changed the way these blocks work a little bit. It thinks I'm trying to place it on top of the farm block, which is not the case. When you're standing in the block, that's not even possible. Alright, so we're going to do it like this. This way we get 2 lines that can have sugarcane on them. If we were to do it like this, this would make sense, but each one of these blocks has 2 blocks of water next to it. We only need 1 block of water next to it. So more effective is something like this. If we do it like this, this whole middle area here can't have sugarcane placed on it. I'm clicking like crazy, but it doesn't work. So what we're going to do, you're going to see what I was talking about with the water in the other video, just filled in. We do it like this, then we get the maximum amount of growing area for the least amount of effort. When we're done making these nice long lines, we'll be able to just run down it and just mow this stuff down like grass. We'll be able to run straight through, and see how I bounce up there? This is why it's important to have a nice, neat line, so you can just run straight down it. Chop, 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 chop. But we're going to need a lot of dirt to fill in this whole area. I'd estimate we probably need 6 to 8 stacks, maybe even 10, to do a formation like this all the way across. I'm not sure exactly how many blocks that is, but I would guess that's probably about 30 blocks across. So it's about a stack per line, and we're going to be able to fit another 3-ish lines over here. So 6 to 8 stacks, I'm going to guess, because we do have a little filling to do over there on that side. You can see we're going to need more dirt. Oh wait, might as well finish putting this sugar cane down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant all of this that I can, and then as it grows I'm going to harvest it, and I'm going to plant more until I have this whole area converted into sugarcane farming the way I want. Right now there's very little of it, but it's enough for what we have at this very moment. Now I'm not going to keep harvesting when it pops up to the second height like that. I'm going to wait for it to get up to where it was when the video started with 3 height. That way we don't spend a bunch of time running back and forth for very little return. And next we need to clear out these trees and flatten this area. We're going to need a lot of shovels. Let's make a few of them. It'll take at least 3, I'm sure. Place for the dirt to go. I'm just going to spread it out like that. Honestly, we'll probably fill up that much dirt. Clearing the whole area out, which is probably more than we're going to try and get done in this video. The point here is the plan. The point of this video is visualizing mentally, imagining how things are going to look. Then we can get to actually doing it. You actually harvest these a lot faster with an axe. Don't remember if I mentioned that. I just mushed my field again. To fix that. Well, that's interesting. Must have accidentally chopped that one down too. Because what it looked like is it looked like the melon piece knocked the, what do you call it, the sugar cane over, which is kind of ridiculous. I don't think that's how it works. I might try to reproduce that. Alright, put that seed back in there. This is the kind of stuff we want to avoid, because obviously that's time we could have been working. Now we're past the initial rush, that we're going to die if we don't make efficient use of our time, but you can really bog down in stuff that isn't very efficient if you're not careful. You can see that tree grew already. I love these dark oak trees because they're so compact. Very easy to harvest. Unlike these crazy oak trees with branches every which way. It can be very difficult to harvest those. Of course, the ones that are the very best are like these giant trees, where you can just carve a stairway all the way up. I'm sure I've shown you that. But it's easy to just do something like this. Go all the way up to the top. Now when you're done going all the way up to the top, all that's left is just a single block. I didn't carve up far enough for you to really see that, but you can see that as I continue to go up above this block here, it's all covered by vines. As I continue to go up, the block immediately above it's going to be carved off, and the only thing that's going to be left is single blocks. So coming back down is really fast, but you don't fall to your death. Pretty quick way to harvest a lot of wood. There's probably a stack, a little more than a stack of wood in there. Stack and a quarter probably, I don't know. You harvest one tree like that and you're good for days most of the time. So that's where we are. That's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be chopping down those trees. I'm going to be digging up this dirt like so and making an area that's nice and big and wide and open. And in the next video, once I've gotten that all cleared out, I'll show you what that looks like. I'll also be taking that dirt that I dig up and using it to build those lanes all the way across the lake, like I showed. I may leave just a little bit of it for the beginning of next video so you can see a couple of the tricks that you can use when you're doing that sort of work. So that is it for today. We had some fun with pillagers, and we figured out where we're going next with our camp. I'm going to spend several in-game days, an hour or more probably, between videos, doing the things that I mentioned. And I'll come back with just enough for you to be able to see what that process was like and what we're going to be doing next. Thank you all for joining me. Have a good one. See you next time.